He's kind of excited
the
again.
The ending was out of this world, but
all right, cool. I don't know if this last section you just heard is in or not, but either way,
we move.
we're here. So August Alsina and Jada Pinkett, it's come to light that August Alsina and Jada have had a sexual relationship. He was on a sexual. He was on a show with Angela Yee of The Breakfast Club, where he described, better yet, I can play it for you.
Mm-hmm. I can take you there.
I've got the receipts. All right, let me go to my bookmarks. Thank you, Twitter, for that invention. Here we go.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. Mm-hmm. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
Right, you did the right thing.
And I really loved a person. I experienced that. I know what that feels like, and some people never get that in this lifetime. So I know that I'm completely blessed. And this conversation is difficult because there's so much that it would be hard for people to understand. But once
let me know when you've had enough.
I mean, I've listened to it.
My livelihood, I have to speak up about my truth and stand on my 10 with anything that may come along.
I think that's the gist
of it. Is it disappointing that she never addressed it?
All right, so let's run through the facts, okay? We've known for years, well, the rumor mill, that Will and Jada were in an open relationship.
Yeah.
An open relationship. Sorry, I'm choking. An open relationship. A few years ago, it came to light that August Alsina was a family friend, a son who lived with them. This was a few years ago. He's now just admitted that him and Jada had a relationship for years. He just said for years. And Will gave him his blessing. Go to my brother and prosper. So, what are our thoughts on this revelation? Brent, let me go to you first.
It's the first time I'm hearing this, so when you cut it, I'm operating outside of context right now. So I'll just let you guys start and then I'll jump in.
Okay.
I'll listen to it whilst it is.
Do you want me to continue the clip?
No. I will put on my AirPods. And
are you sure? Because I've got it. I can just press play right here.
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Let's go over Gina. Gina, what are your thoughts in this?
I don't understand open marriages personally. I mean, even from a Christian perspective, I don't think open marriages are in the Bible.
They've transitioned from the paradigm of a marriage to
a life partnership
because
they don't want to get divorced.
They don't want to get divorced.
Okay.
So rather than separate,
no, I understand, brother. I don't need this
stay
explanation.
Together.
I get it, but again,
no,
I'm talking about the context of marriage in it. Okay. So I'm seeing it from that perspective. To me, you can sit here and tell me you've gone from being married to life partners, but big man, you're in an open marriage because you're still married.
What's the difference between marriage and life partnership? Because
so then that's
marriage is a life partnership, right?
This is it. So that again, that's why I'm saying to me, it's not a mockery of marriage, but I feel like in the Christian sense, it's a mockery of marriage.
Because you're looking at it from a Christian.
Okay, and obviously marriage is a Christian thing, so
it's not just a Christian thing.
I'm not saying it's just. I'm saying thing. Okay, but
don't reduce my experience as a Muslim and as a black man on this earth.
Okay, right now my perspective is coming from a Christian perspective. Okay, you can also give your perspective from your.
Wait. What are those hands trying to suggest?
I'm here for
are you trying to
black brother?
Are you trying to oppress me? Because them hands were very suggestive. Like stay over there.
Okay.
No.
And basically,
I don't understand what's going on right now. I want equal rights too, Gina.
Okay, and you can have those.
respect me, please,
I have.
and talk to me. And
I
look,
do.
when you look at me in the
He's
eyes.
pointing that finger at you.
I know.
A black woman.
Those long fingers. Your fingers are very...
He's weaponizing those fingers.
Literally, your fingers are extremely aggressive. Just look at them. They really scare me.
Listen.
Ooh, he's clasping his hands together. Ooh.
Hello, that's the police.
Let me back up.
There's an African American woman.
Let me back
She's
up.
being very aggressive. She's very angry. She's shouting. All right.
You man are being very reductive to the plight right now.
She's telling me,
I hope you know this. They gonna come for you.
oh,
You taking a piss right now.
anyway.
You're making a mockery.
Do you know what? This
No,
episode, yeah.
you're getting sucked in by him. Don't get sucked in.
No, I'm saying this episode in general, yeah, is mad. Anyway, basically, like I said, I'm looking at it from a Christian perspective.
Yeah.
I think it's a mockery of marriage in that sense. I understand you don't want to get a divorce, etc., because it could be messy. But you both seem very mature and cordial anyway, so I don't see why your divorce would even be messy, seeing as it seems that you guys have a clear understanding. And also, your kids seem to be very aware of what is going on. When you're having this red talk table, your daughter's sitting next to you and you're saying in front of your daughter, listen, we're married, but you might be on one side, I might be on one side, but we're still, do you know what I mean, doing our own thing. So it's very clear that your kids also are very aware of how things run. So for me, I don't understand why they haven't just got... Not like I don't understand why they... For me, I would rather just get a divorce, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, all right.
That's just me. But... I find it very strange. Again, that's your life partner. Okay, cool. Big man, go do your thing. I also believe that I'm not sitting here seeing it as Will's not on his side doing his thing as well.
Will's
There's no way. And they might even be doing like group activities. We don't know. It's just, this is you lot's fave, bruv. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is, if you've got two adults, yeah, who have been married for X amount of years, have kids together, built a life together, are obviously I'm not saying they're no longer in love, but as August said,
they're probably just friends and business partners at this point.
The romance has kind of gone, all right? And they are obviously comfortable with this decision that they've made.
Clearly. So to be honest, it's their own.
What's the issue?
It's not my own. But that's the thing.
No, I'm not talking to you when I said that, just to everyone. Because if they have decided that they're happy to live this way, then what's the problem? This is an alternative to getting divorced, basically.
No, Yusuff, I hear that, but you know that the world that we're in, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Of course. And I'm also voicing my own.
So,
Yeah.
was the consensus online people showing their disdain for the open marriage as opposed to them just getting divorced? Or was it the abuse or the...
I think the disdain I saw was that, one, this is supposed to be Will and Jada, couple goals, your faves, as Gina just said, and they're just doing, a madness. Two, people are saying that Jada took advantage of August when he was vulnerable and depressed and going through things. No proof to these allegations. I don't know where they're coming from, but they're saying that she took advantage of him. And because remember, when it first came out, they were kind of living together. It was a case of their family are helping him through some hardships.
Was he who was going through trauma at the time?
I believe so, yes. He lost his...
Wow, okay. What was
Because
it?
this was even
He
on
lost
their...
his sister.
This is on the red table talking it when
Hold
they
on,
were...
How did he lose his sister?
I don't know.
Hold on.
And
There's a
then
tweet.
he
that
had
I'm
to
not
look
gonna read.
after.
You have a phone in your hand?
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, you're quiet,
So August lost his brother, then his sister, then he turned into a dad. He had to uncle his sister's...
Father.
Sorry, it says uncle here. He had to father his sister's 4 daughters. So he essentially became their father. He battled with lupus all before he was 30 years old. This is heavy, this tweet says. Jada took advantage.
Lupus?
Yes,
Yeah.
lupus.
People can die from lupus.
But what I'm saying is, there's no evidence that correlates August going through XYZ to Jada taking advantage of him. How do we know that he wasn't complicit and he wasn't consensual in their relationship?
So the
Of course
point
he
I was going to ask is, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and I wanted to, because I've not watched the full, I've only watched the clips that we've seen online.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, was there a point in his interview where he spoke about how vulnerable he felt, and like, because I just, like you, I wanted to know where these allegations were coming from, like why it's like Jada's a predator, and then do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think one, because obviously she's older than him.
Yeah.
By God knows how many years. Youth correspondent, can you get the age difference, please? The age gap between Jada Pinkett-Smith and August Alsina. Thank
Brent,
you.
can we have the AC one, please?
Stat, please. At the hurry.
At the hurry, I'm done.
So I think that's one reason. And because we knew when news first broke of their families kind of integrating, we knew that August was going through things. And people are assuming, oh, okay, he was going through things then. This is probably when they first got together. But to me, it's a bit of a reach to say
21 years.
21-year difference, massive gap. I think it's a reach to say that she took advantage of him. Like, he said himself that he loves her. He committed himself to her for years. So are we saying that she brainwashed him into this, or you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's a grown up, isn't it?
But then the thing is, someone made a very valid point though and said if August was a female and Jada was a man, the narrative would be completely different in terms of like.
And if the girl gave the same speech,
yeah, I feel like people would definitely say it was a brainwashing or grooming situation.
Based off of what? Just because she's a female?
Yeah.
I can't remember that, just because she's a female. If she's not, I get it. I totally get it, because this is the world we live in.
The point I'm making is and someone else made this point, that when it becomes to men, it's like no one takes it as serious or that whole.
No, we do. But what I'm saying is, people are pulling these allegations out of the sky, is what I'm saying. Like, there's the whole Jada took advantage of him is coming from nowhere. Really and truly. Like, he didn't say nothing like that. So we're debating something that we are just assuming has happened, not we know it's happened.
Okay. When she initially took him in, it was under the guise of trying to help him out.
That's the perspective that we were given.
Or that wasn't said like on TV? Like she wasn't interviewed and she was...
I have no idea.
Okay, cool.
I have no idea.
Are you still sitting there not typing it along? What are you paying you for?
I'm not the...
No, I think they did actually help him.
Okay.
That's what she said in the red table thing.
Did she used to call him son? Did they refer to him as son?
No, the son thing I got from Twitter.
Okay, all right, okay. A quick look research, Georgina.
The fact that you call her that kills me.
That's right. You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the power that is the Smiths, I guess they might be seen as it's blinding, it's all encompassing. And if it is that you initially bring him in under the guise of helping the young man, and you're calling him son and you're offering him the same type of shelter and comfort and support that you would offer your own son.
Yeah.
Does he have mother issues?
His mother's dead, no, Georgia?
Search that up too.
Researcher / youth correspondent.
Georgia, I'm not gonna lie today, yeah, you're not on job. Come on.
Hold on.
That isn't my job.
Sorry. You were saying?
Yeah, so maybe the take is he was vulnerable.
Yeah.
It started off as a motherly care / affection thing.
And she took advantage of him.
He dropped his guard.
Yeah.
And...
Or he wanted it all along, and he finds Jada Pinkett-Smith attractive, and he wanted to smash.
He said that he fell in love with her.
He fell in love with her. So are you saying that she groomed him?
I'm not saying that.
I'm not going to assume that she groomed him or whatever. I'm going to... Obviously, what you were saying about it being flipped, of course, this is the way the world is. We flip things around. What if it was a woman, da-da-da. That's cool, but...
Oh, you're saying we don't even know anything.
But can we just go off the evidence we have, rather than assuming that she groomed him just because they're 21 years apart and he was vulnerable at the time?
Her spokesperson said that it's absolutely not true.
Yeah, but that's what she'll say, though.
What isn't true?
The allegations of what he said.
Oh, so he's lying. Oh, had a sexual.
Come on, Jada.
Well, that's what.
Knock it off. Knock it off, Jada.
Okay.
What happened? Jada's what?
She said it's absolutely not
Plot
true.
twist.
Oh, she's come out.
Why is
Well,
it?
her spokesperson.
But then, so he's lying?
Yeah, and why would he lie?
He's obviously not lying.
Well, don't say that.
Well,
because you don't know. What do you mean he's obviously not lying?
I don't know. And also, he does have an album that came out 2 weeks ago, last week.
Oh, he's doing promotion, you're saying?
True.
Yeah,
You never
obviously,
know.
Brent, it's called timing.
Ooh.
Your project came out 2 weeks ago. Now you're doing Angela
So
Yee.
he's trying to discredit Angela Yee's
platform.
And he had a little documentary that came out the other day.
Today is a weird day. I don't know what's going on. Gina, save me, please.
Right, so.
Are you okay? Mm-hmm. No, what's up? Because ever since you looked at your phone, you were shocked. You've been a bit off.
No, I'm alright. Don't worry. I'm good. Sorry. You know what? I'm back in the zone.
All right, cool. How should we attack this? Should we attack this like we think she's grooming him or not?
Well, we've just got updated information that he's lying. Let's run on that assumption.
Okay. I don't think he's lying because...
Why would he?
I don't think he's lying. I don't think he has any reason... Not like he has any reason to lie. And I feel like... Why would you just randomly make up a lie? Like...
Oh, interesting.
I mean,
people do remember the conversation we had last week?
It's true. Okay, I highly doubt that he's lying.
What conversation did you have last week? Oh.
About the list. Okay, I highly doubt that he's lying.
Because she has prior.
Does she? Who?
She stepped out of her marriage before.
Who?
No, this is all rumours.
Rumours? What do you mean? J-Lo's husband?
I had a rumour. Sorry.
Jada Pinkett smashed J-Lo's husband.
Yeah.
Really?
Who? What?
Ex-husband, obviously.
A-Rod.
Wait, I thought her and A-Rod were together.
They are together.
They are.
Again?
They're getting married, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about Jada and A-Rod or Jada on any of...
He said ex-husband, so it can't be A-Rod.
But okay, cool. Let's just read it back a minute, yeah? So, people are going ham at Jada, like, you cheated on Will or whatever, or you stepped out. Will was also in this open relationship, so Will was also smashing down the chicks. The difference is, the chicks he's smashing haven't done the interview yet and said, me and Will are doing the thing.
The thing is, I'm not seeing, the maddest thing is, I didn't look at it and think, right, you
Mark
stepped
Anthony?
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think, it's coming to my mind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Neither did I. But I
Will
never...
Smith used to date Jesse Jeff.
Who?
I'm joking.
Yeah,
Not him.
I never...
No, that can stay in.
I didn't say it.
No, but look at it be like...
No, I was like, Will Smith used to date his DJ?
That's what he's
Jeff.
being stupid.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I never looked at it and thought, rah, Jada, you're stepping out of your marriage. Jada, you know, like, you're not faithful. Because obviously it was clear that there was a level of understanding. And obviously my man in his interview said he even got Will's blessing. So I never looked at it as she's done something wrong. It was more like, rah, is this how you lot are moving? Do you get what I mean? As a collective, because clearly it's an agreement, and there's no way I'm sitting here thinking that she's living her best life and Will's just at home reading newspapers or like, sure thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's doing the same thing. So it's a mutual agreement. So my response was more shocked that, right, this is what you men are doing, yeah? Kind of thing. Not that I saw that, I didn't see her as stepping out on her marriage. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And also I think, who knows, Will and August might also be doing the thing as well.
Was it you or Jesse or someone that put that in? There was too much going in the group, so I just thought,
Of course it was you.
I mean, we actually would never know.
No, I'm making it up in it, but you never know.
You asked the question though, so
it could. Listen, threesomes happen. You know what I mean?
This is it.
Will, Jada, August. That might be Jada's fantasy. You never know.
But you know what? How old is August?
Set it off.
27.
See, this is what I find really interesting. How old is
Jaden?
Yeah.
He's
27.
Who?
No way.
No, but even if he
He's
isn't
like
27,
He's not older than August.
my point is, to me, they're very close in age.
Yeah.
And I just see it as August is old enough to be your son. Like, you could have given birth to him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure even Will Smith's eldest son
is older than. It's probably older or the same age as August.
Yeah. So I think that's again what I find strange, because she's a woman and she has kids close to his age. Fair enough, they're not, bruv, if you're in your 20s, to me, you're your peers, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So again, I find that extremely uncomfortable for me personally.
I don't like how you're shading your father like that.
Oh, but I was about to bring that up. But then I've spoke openly.
I thought that was like a shade. And then
No, but he can't.
You just took it. You just absorbed it.
Listen, he gave it to me. I'm about to dunk.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Layup things.
Because man spoke about this on more than one occasion. I've never hid it from the pod, and I've said that I find it really disturbing that my dad's old enough to be my mum's dad, bruv.
Mad thing, sad thing.
Do you know what I mean? So again, these are things that bewilder me. But I'm a product of that environment, so it's like.
What's the age gap to your mum and dad?
I think 20.
It's 20 years.
Something like that.
No, it is because my mum. That's
But, no,
19.
but when did they meet though?
I don't know.
My mum was.
Because your dad's old.
Yeah. The thing is, what I've understood, is remember my dad's very old, so he's from a completely different generation. Things happen so different.
How old is he?
He's 80.
Raw, your dad's a bit older than my dad. My dad's only in his early 60s.
Yeah.
And my dad's old to me. So like 80 is mad.
But the thing is, I think the reason why it's not as weird is because my parents don't look their age. So my dad's extremely active.
Prince Philip.
I think
He's dead.
99.
Sorry, Queen. No, the Queen's an avid listener, so I have to make sure.
How old? Prince Philip was in his 90s.
Let me do my research.
I was 81.
Georgia, you need to be like
Look
on it.
What's his name?
Prince Philip. But what was we saying? Yeah,
the
so
age
I
gap between you and your
I
mum.
realized that they're from a different.
99.
He's 99, right? They're from a completely different
He's your dad's peer.
background, like generation. So things obviously back then to now, I guess back then it was normal. Remember, he's got bare kids, bare baby mums. Again, back then that stuff's not unheard of. So when I, it's what I've noticed is if I say my dad's got loads of kids, if I speak to a fellow Ghanaian, they'll be like, "Oh, my granddad does," and it's like, "Yeah, well, duh," because my dad and your granddad are probably peers. Do you get what I mean?
Mad thing.
So it's showing the difference in generation. Do you get what I mean? So there's loads of people that are like, "Oh, yeah, my granddad's got bare kids," and it's like,
But when did your mum and dad meet?
I don't know.
Georgia, can you find out?
Well, my mum,
Ask him
How
real
old
quick.
was mommy when she
but
had
my mum had me at 30 though, and there's 3 years between me and my brother, so somewhere in between. So she was.
No, but did she meet your dad around the same time you were born, or was it years prior?
I don't know, but then she also claims that he didn't tell her her age.
Because, cool. Let's just go off the
she
premise.
claims that he lied about his age.
Let's go off the premise your mum was 30. Yeah.
She was earlier than 30 because
So-
she had me at 30.
So
Okay,
she was
9
like
months prior. So
28.
she was 29.
She was like 28, 29, yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you frown upon age gaps, even though the woman is past a certain age?
Bitch, she was 28 and man was 48. Nigga, that's still nasty. Like, regardless of
Okay,
when
cool,
she
okay.
met him.
Let's take the I think the 20 is manipulating you. 30. All right, so let's say your mum was 30 and your dad was, how old do you say he was?
50. He would have been
50.
50.
So it's 30 and 50 to you, like,
Still, Yusuff, no matter where you put it on the timeline, see how now she's 61 and
Yeah.
he's 80, still makes me sick,
Brent, what about you?
personally.
Is it black years or white years?
As in the
It's
look.
black years.
So
No,
No, I want to hear.
could clip it.
how do you groom a grown man?
Okay.
I don't
so-
think it's...
Like,
Sorry. Go
I
on.
don't think I can be groomed by anyone. I'm a grown man.
I think it also... I don't think it's to do with age, though.
No.
I think, for me, it's about
It's the-
vulnerability
and
and,
the power,
and
yeah. Power of influence.
where you are. So if you're a person, like, you're not... I don't have you down as someone who's easily influenced in general. But if you are a person who's easily influenced or very impressionable and vulnerable, then I don't think it matters how old you are, because those are characteristic traits. So it's still possible for you to be groomed, so to speak. And then also, I was going to say, is grooming only a thing when it comes to age?
That's what I thought.
So,
That's what I thought.
because I was gonna say, if there was a 5-year age gap, I don't think the word grooming would even come up in the conversation. Because again, I was gonna say, like, imagine, and I feel like sometimes it's not always a case of grooming, so to speak. So, like, I guess it goes both ways. Like, imagine like a student becoming infatuated with a teacher. I guess that's it's not common, but like you know what I mean, we've seen it happen. And the teacher's even none, and the teacher, it could be a case of a teacher. Obviously, I'm not saying that it doesn't ever happen, because some teachers, you should know better, big man. Come on. But then it could be a case of like the teacher just being a good teacher, just paying interest to their student, and from that, especially if you come from lack of, taking that and running with it to become something that it's not. In that moment, it would be classed as grooming, innit? Well, not straight away, but I mean, like,
With the teacher-student dynamic?
yeah,
Possibly because it's a minor, no?
yeah.
Can we define some of the
Georgina?
characteristics
Grooming?
of
Which
grooming.
is literally why I went on my phone because I saw that she wasn't.
Because remember, at first it was Jada took advantage of August, and it was she groomed him. I see both of different things. Take
Because
advantage.
he's a big man, you're saying.
Gina just gave me some educations. Some educations.
Did I?
So I can understand how I could be groomed by, say, a 6-year-old woman who may have years and years of wisdom and, on me and could really, you know what I mean, show me something new in it.
Yeah.
Is that grooming still? Or is that, I don't know, is that persuading? Is that
Isn't it also
dangling the
is
carrot
it
in my
also a
face?
form of manipulation?
Manipulations?
Mm.
It's what Georgia, can we get the official definition of grooming?
Which one do you want? Child grooming or adult grooming?
Both.
Oh, there's
please.
both. Okay.
Child grooming is befriending and establishing an emotional connection with a child and sometimes the family to lower the child's inhibitions with the objective of sexual abuse. And then adult grooming is when someone builds an emotional connection with someone to earn trust with the purpose of sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, or even trafficking.
Okay.
So you can be groomed as an adult.
All right, so you
Yeah.
can be groomed as an adult. Forget my previous statement. But I'm just saying, as a man who is in the vicinity of an attractive woman who I probably want to be with, let's be honest, I don't see how then it's grooming when I am here by my own will. I've come here for you, Jada. Just say it off. No pun intended.
That's why I said, I mean, initially, he was invited in under the guise of support. They called him son. So if that's the case, it might fall under adult grooming. As Georgina said.
No, fair enough.
That's
No,
when it gets a bit sticky because
he
you
did
can't go
come
from
in-
being your son to.
If he came in as like, okay, cool, it's Willow,
To love her.
it's August, and it's Jaden. These are our kids now. Then yeah, you've groomed him because he was supposed to be your son that you're helping. Cool. If he came in as August, R&B singer, I'm a stud, Mac Daddy, whatever, then no, it's not grooming. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. Either way, Will and Jada are two adults who have chosen to live their life in a certain way. All right? Will gave August permission. He gave him permission to sleep with his wife or to have a relationship. So what is the issue? The issue is just if we believe Jada manipulated or groomed August, basically. That's the issue. Not so much that. I think it's more so that, now we finally have evidence that Will and Jada are in an open relationship. Now people are judging their relationship based on their own morality. That I don't get either. People love to judge people based off their own morality. If they're happy to have this situation, then that's just it, innit? If you're not, you're not. But like I said in the group,
He was introduced to Jada by her son, Jaden.
On a holiday.
Yeah. Mothers be smashing the son's friends all the time, B.
Amen.
You tough, right?
Amen.
Why did you breathe like that? All right. Are we sticking to this topic or we moving?
We
So
can move.
Will Smith and Jada still goals? They're still together. They're keeping that relationship strong.
No, I'm alright.
No, sorry. This is what I want to say. What is wrong with coexisting, co-parenting under the same roof, having mutual respect and love and admiration for one another, but having other sexual relationships in the same vicinity, either just whatever, whether or not they're in the house together or not, being together but yet dating other people.
Let me show you what's wrong with that.
So what?
Not looking through Christian eyes. I know that's what.
No. So what? So what will happen if you meet someone that you generally? Let me see.
Brad just showed us a picture of.
Why?
Why? What's wrong with that?
Why?
Wait, what's wrong with that? I don't understand.
I got it.
That's
I
all right.
didn't.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay, no, I didn't. What he is doesn't really sit on my mind. I got to think about it.
Oh.
No, but he could have been that way regardless.
Okay.
So, No, forget it.
Oh yeah, still top and bottom stuff.
Kind
Look
of.
at this guy.
No.
How do I know where he's going
No,
with it?
I was going to say the scene from I May Destroy You.
Oh, this guy.
Imagine Jaden and Tyler in that. That's mad. That's a madness. But anyway, let's move on.
Wow.
Is this episode cancelled or?
This creative editing is right.
You're going to have a lot of work to do.
But make sure you keep in all the funnies.
Your bear ring.
All right, before we get on to the main topic of discussion.
What is the main topic
Well,
of
then
discussion?
we ain't even at the main.
No, well, according to Gina, no? Skin, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're hot. The reason why we're all here.
Your bear dumb. I didn't even finish it, but yeah, I did. I didn't finish it to the end, but
Fam,
I know.
man.
I messaged you. I was like, you
Do you know what I went through today to make
I
sure?
don't understand.
Wait. Me first. You know what I went through? I went through today, yeah, to make sure I finished every single bit of it.
I had to skip it. It was a bit.
I had a client, had it on in the background, I had a call, I left it on,
Yeah.
I paused it, I'm like, I gotta finish before I leave the house.
No, but I was doing that, and then I literally I think I had 10, 15 minutes left.
So you only watched it today?
Yeah.
What? I watched it last night.
Told us about the show
I told you
about a week ago.
2 days ago.
You messaged me this morning. Yusuff, you watched it. You hadn't even watched
No,
it.
because if you hadn't watched it, then I was just gonna be okay, cool. Let me not rush to watch it.
All right, guys, watch Skin on Netflix.
What day was it?
About colorism and bleaching in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You know
I'm
I'll
gonna
be in my bag on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
I'm still gonna be in my
So
bag.
I want us to discuss it properly.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what I
And she's
said?
there. I finished it.
And I finished it, you ain't finished it.
Wait,
Gina,
wait, did
wait.
wait.
Did you watch Skin?
That's what I'm saying. Gina, do you know, ask me what I was doing the second before I left the house.
What's your skin?
Watching Skin.
No, but can I just say something?
Never again.
Can I just say something really funny? Did I really use the word properly?
Mm.
I'm dead. That ain't my vocab.
And also, on top of that, it was boring.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It wasn't for me.
It was a boring watch.
No.
Like, the message was
The
there.
thing is, I saw
reductive right now.
I saw it on I saw the ads.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is, and someone even sent it to me. It was like, oh, I think you'd enjoy this.
Barbrisky light skin ass.
So I watched it, and I was watching it, and I was just like, oh, this is a bit of a Debbie Downer because I expected it to be a lot more engaging.
Yeah.
But I still think we can still discuss it.
No, we can discuss
and
it.
get good talking
But I
points.
think it's funny that you hadn't.
No, I hadn't finished it. I know.
I mean, the end wasn't really. They just had the individual talks. You know what they called confessionals.
Green screen.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Right. Take us away.
okay. So obviously we know team colorism. You know, when it comes to that topic, I love to discuss. So I thought it'd be good for us to actually watch it and see different dynamics. And obviously talking. Yeah, I can't really take us there because I'm just like, what am I going to say?
Do you want me to take us there?
Yeah, go on.
Because you watched it.
Because I actually watched it.
Yeah, I did watch it though.
All right, so I don't know anyone's name.
Okay, so basically, the girl whose documentary it was,
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but the black girl with the
British-
natural
British
hair,
girl.
the British girl, she's a popular Nigerian actress. So I've seen her in a lot of Nigerian programs, Nigerian films. So I guess it was coming from her perspective of growing up, hating her skin, not hating her skin, but not being bullied in school and not liking her complexion and having a strong mother there to remind her that she's beautiful. So she decided to explore the issue of colorism in Nigeria. So she did interviews with different people. So you got a British and Nigerian perspective. And when I say British, it was mainly Brits that kind of had moved to Nigeria or were working in the Nigerian space. And their experiences with colorism. And then she also went to business owners who sold these products and again got their perspective as well, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
And even the photographer, I thought that was good, where she spoke to the guy and he spoke about the history of camera film and Kodak and talking about how when films were made before, it was only with one colour in mind.
Yeah. That is, was the white woman?
White woman. Yeah. So even how you would look on camera as a black person, it wasn't designed to kind of make your skin pop or even to capture you in the best way possible. So seeing it from that perspective as well, I find really interesting. I mean, I could relate to a lot of it.
Yeah, I
literally
think
watching
I didn't
it.
really learn anything new.
Yeah, obviously.
It was more of just, going over what is really out there.
And
sorry, the one thing I did stick out to me was, because I know a few girls, who are light skinned but have the dark knuckles and feet.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know, have you bleached or is it just you? But I believe now, after the documentary, that you definitely bleached.
Most people, and basically a common way to know if someone has bleached is by looking at their knuckles.
Yeah.
Because the cream you use on your knuckles,
Doesn't work.
it's not like, it's quite tough. The skin's a bit more tough there.
Yeah.
So there's specific, you're thinking, how does Gina know? I told you my mum used to bleach. I know all this stuff. There's creams in particular. Well, growing up, there was creams my mum used to use in particular for those areas,
For the knuckles,
separate to the rest of her body. And even looking at us, I guess you can also see that your knuckles are a bit darker than the rest of your skin in general anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Eye box.
what's eye box?
Eye box.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
So
Yeah.
So you've got really dark
Yeah.
knuckles. Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah. So yeah. I think it was really interesting you got to see it from two sides actually, because you had the mixed race girl who spoke about how she wouldn't get casted for certain roles because it was made for a black person, but for her, she's just like, I'm black.
How do you feel about that?
I'm part black. Do you know what I realised? When I was growing up and when I was younger, I never saw both sides of the argument. So obviously being black and being dark skin, I only saw it from my view. And as I've got older and I've spoken to mixed race girls or lighter skinned women, I've also seen from their perspective how they may, like, we projected our hatred onto them, if that makes sense. So I get it.
And sometimes they're not accepted by either.
No, 100%, because you're not black, you're not white. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get it. But when I was younger, I didn't want to hear what you had to say. I didn't care what you had to say because my struggle was the only one that was important. But as I've got older, I now understand the importance of these conversations and having the conversations with not just black women, as in black women that look like me, and speaking about all shades, because there's women that will turn around and say, oh, well, growing up. So when I watched Waka Meet the Flockers, whatever, Tammy was talking about growing up, she got bullied a lot. Because obviously her mum's dark skin, her dad's is very light skin, and in the area she grew up in, she was the only light skinned girl there, and everyone used to bully her. Oh, you think you're too nice, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of that, she became extremely aggressive and like had this typical angry black girl defense mechanism, but that was because she was an outsider, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, again, like hearing us talk about it, I thought, like I can totally understand and see how that would affect you. Even if it was because if it can happen to me, or if it can happen to someone on one end, why wouldn't it be the same the other way around? Do you get what I mean? So I like the fact that we're having open conversations and they're not just one way. So that was good.
Bob Risky.
Bob Risky just is an absolute rattler.
So what does he identify? Oh, is it?
See, this is the thing. I don't understand now, because in the beginning, he still goes under the name of Idris though.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He does.
He said he doesn't, yeah, but on his snap is...
It's just his name Idris, and even I thought he still identifies himself as Idris. He hasn't changed his name.
Recently at his dad's funeral, he came as a man.
He would have had to though. Like with that one, do you think Africans are gonna? Nah.
Yeah.
I think it was his dad's birthday.
Oh, sorry, that's birthday.
They would never have allowed that. Like the elders.
Yeah.
No
Okay,
way.
but her reasoning.
That's what which is what pissed me off.
Because
she was like, I want to be famous. I just thought, no. Like, no.
Yeah.
So Bob Risky basically said, the reason why
she bleached.
I don't know whether to call he or she now.
Let's call her she.
I'm gonna say she.
Let's call her she.
The reason why she decided to transform the way she has is because she didn't want to be poor and she didn't want to work for anybody else and she wanted to be famous. And she didn't want a normal level of fame because there's normal celebrities. She wanted the fame that was going to be quick paced. She was impatient. So she left uni and thought, okay, cool. what can I do to let Nigerians talk? Because they're going to talk about me regardless, but I need them to talk the things.
That's a very drastic decision.
This is why this is why I'm just like...
Hold on, so...
And...
Is she homosexual? Or...
She dates men. But she hasn't transitioned
it was more of a natural
yet.
choice then. It was more of a natural choice. Because I thought that, when I first heard that, I thought, oh, maybe she's... Now I'm confused. Maybe Bob Risky is straight, but dresses as a woman for fame.
No.
Oh.
So when Bob Risky first started coming out, early days, I remember when I first found him, and back then he still identified as a man.
Yeah.
And whenever people would ask if he was gay, he'd say no. He'd say he just does this for fashion. It's because he's got a brand and he's got a fashion label and he just wants to push it out there. So who better to rock his brand than himself? That's what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
And obviously things have transitioned a lot now, because back then he only kind of used to wear makeup and didn't dress as I guess he dressed as a female, but it wasn't as full on as it is now. So obviously now the hair, the nails, he's got a balm, he even got BB. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm assuming she identifies as a woman or is going through the whole process to be a woman. But she dates men. And in the beginning, she has this attitude of, I don't care. And I get the whole wanting people to talk, because everything she has done so far, from what I've seen, has literally been to rattle the Nigerian community. Because, again, as Africans, as religious people, when it comes to certain things, we're not really at the forefront talking about those things. Then you've got Bob Risky saying, ladies, this is how to suck your man's dick. She's literally giving tutorials online about how to suck penis, and this is why your man will come to me. Do you know what I mean? But it's very... And in the comments, the Africans are like, you're going to hell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, from a religious point of view, it's no kind of thing. But yeah, I felt her reasoning wasn't... I guess I can't say it wasn't it's justified, because who am I to say that? But I just found the whole, I wanted to be famous.
Yeah, the reason it wasn't.
Yeah,
what I thought
really.
I thought there'd be
but then
some childhood.
Yeah, and then to turn around and say and obviously it wasn't. And I guess the conversation wasn't really about her transition and her gender. It was more about her selling bleaching cream. Because I remember, again, that was a big talking point before, where she used to sell cream. And she'd get attacked because people would be like, what you're doing isn't fair. You're harming people and whatnot. But it was a big thing for her. Like, she just used to push it out there and sell her cream. And Africa, when she was saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm better than this girl. Oh, it's because she's light skinned. Okay, me too. I'll be light skinned and we can go head to head." Africans have that mentality. Like, when she was talking, I didn't think that was far fetched, because that is a common way to speak, like this whole comparison thing. Do you know what I mean? Which is sad, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Brent.
So they went to visit the first, I guess, shopkeeper who sells these products.
The one that was crying?
No, there was one before that.
No. Sorry, Georgina. You want to tap in?
I'm scared. Someone took our clip.
I know, I've seen it. I saw it, but I don't know what this... I can't hear it.
This is later.
Yeah.
No, someone took a clip from last week's episode and put it on Insta, but I don't know what clip is in it. The title
But
was,
they're saying...
Boys will be boys. No, but I didn't say boys.
No, but No, I did. You see, something about... They agree with basically both of what they're saying. But I think it's a male speaking, saying, growing up, that boys will be boys. I don't know.
Anyway. Hold on, let me check if the person got a lot of followers. Oh, 54.8k. No comment there.
See what happened. What?
Anyway.
Really mic'd up. And the one at the end, the lady and the fair-skinned lady.
The one that had the shop.
She now has a daughter.
Yeah. I was just like...
And she's like, everybody does it, so it's up to the consumer to actually do their research.
She put too much onus on the consumer, and I felt like it was just shifting the blame. Like, as a business, and you even comparing other brands, this brand does it, this brand does it, this brand does it, this brand's in Asia, this brand's in whatever. So it's a global thing. Like it's very clear that it's just a money making scheme, or it's just for profit, because you don't generally care about the harmful effects. And saying that it's for, when you go test drive a car, when you go buy a car, you test drive it, so test the cream. It's like, it's not the same. Like, and yeah, you ask questions, so the onus is on you as a consumer to ask these questions before buying the product. It's not on us. Like, all the information's there. I felt like that was a bit of a coward move, personally, in regards to how she dealt with that. I think what I found interesting, though, from a lot of people that they did speak to, they all said that if they had their way, they would revert back to their normal colour.
Even Bobrisky said that.
Yeah, because the maintenance of what they're doing is a lot. And obviously not everyone can revert back naturally. Even if you were to revert back, it depends on obviously how far you've gone or what you've used. The damage to your skin is probably irreversible. The woman who showed her feet, her knuckles and feet, I just was like, yeah, that is mad. Even the woman that was crying,
I was thinking that, but
hers was sad.
Yeah, but she wasn't like that.
She wasn't
light, but you can tell. I feel like she's like red skin. A lot of people that bleach have like a reddish kind of undertone.
She stopped, but she didn't look.
She didn't look proper dark skin, but yeah, but you could feel how you could see the regret, because she came across very strong. Yeah. And when they were kind of talking to her, she was just like, no, like...
That's when it dawned on her.
Yeah,
like,
she was very...
tried to erase her identity.
Yeah. She was very dismissive in the beginning, and very like... Even the way she was crying, it was like, you ain't gonna get these tears out of me. Let me finish doing my cream. Like that strong, typical black woman. But it was... Yeah, I found that resonated with me. I found that cute. Well, not cute, but you know what? The girl, the British girl that said that she went on set and someone said to her, oh, it's you again. Yeah. If you're not light skinned by 2018, you're not going to book any jobs. I just was like, it's so hard, yeah, because forget bleaching, you're being criticized on something you can't change. Like, I didn't ask to be born this color. So imagine not getting certain jobs and being in positions based on that. It's after a while, it's just like, this is too much. And remember, this is coming from your own people, It's not even coming from like people outside of your race. It's your own race that are telling you that is not good enough to be in this position.
For that example, I don't think it was a guy who was black. I think...
Oh, is it?
No, I think it was either the lighting guy.
Yeah, it was the lighting guy.
Yeah, but remember, he's there thinking, oh, crap, I have to do something different. No,
I gathered that's what it meant. Oh, you're now coming to give me a harder job.
Yeah, I wouldn't have assumed it was a black guy. I would have assumed it was a white person.
Regardless, though, the comment... the comment, regardless of whoever it came from, is extremely out of pocket.
Oh, what that girl with the contact lenses on?
Yeah.
Different eyes.
Yeah.
They're talking about this, that, and next.
No, but it's the same thing.
I agree.
Like wearing contact lenses that are a different colour, because again, it makes you look more attractive or more European, so to speak. It's a shame though, man. It is a shame.
No, it's a shame.
But, the more we have these conversations, the more we're able to kind of educate ourselves and also hopefully prevent the next generation or those younger than us from going through the same thing. And I feel like it's definitely going to be easier for them because we're having these conversations. So now, this is what I wanted to talk about, because I got it. You see, when the girl said that in London, she didn't like her skin, she was never really loved, and then she went to LA and people were complimenting her. Fam, when I went to New York, when I was 19, first time I ever went to New York. Again, in London, I'm sorry, even at 19, dark-skinned girls were not getting love. You weren't hearing dark-skinned girls and song lyrics, or... Do you know what I mean? No, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Quickly, because this goes on to the convo we had in the group the other day. I think you were privy to it.
Probably not.
About how generally in the world, men get less care than women when it comes to like issues of sexual abuse or racial abuse or colorism or just depression or whatever. Men, I said to Gloria and Crystal that in terms of like who gets the most care, it's women, elderly, and children than men.
Yeah.
And they were like, their argument was about, but who are you looking to for the love? And that was their argument, like, in terms of, are you looking to your friends or are you looking to Joe Public? But regardless, the example I gave actually that you weren't privy to, and they asked you to talk about, I was like, no, don't ask Gina, because I thought I was just only using your name as an example. But I said to Crystal, if I went to you and I said, Gina, I'm upset, I'm depressed, I got XYZ on my mind, I'm not saying you would definitely hear me out and talk to me, but I think if Gloria came to you with the same cries, you'd be more sympathetic towards her because she's a girl.
Do you know why I wouldn't?
And I'm only using you as an example because the both of us.
But I wouldn't. And that's so mad. I'd be more sympathetic to you.
Why?
Because you're a man. And because it's not common for men to be vocal about these things.
Okay.
So you would get more attention from me than Gloria would. And
Right.
and it would wrestle with me a lot more, because for you to be open to speak to me,
Yeah.
again, it's not common for men to be open with their feelings. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got me wrong.
All right.
Can I have the AC on?
No, but
please?
remember, I only use you. I just use
No,
your
I know,
name.
but I'm
Yeah.
no, I get it, but I'm just.
But okay, cool.
It's a
No,
hypothetical
yeah.
situation, but
Case by case basis, for you as an individual, that's your answer, which is great. But I think in general, women would, or even men, would care for the woman or be more sympathetic to toward the woman than the man.
I agree. The point I was making is, I went to New York at the age of 19, and I got abundance of love from American guys. Oh, hey, sexy chocolate girl. And it was confusing. I was so right, because I just thought, you're not talking to me, are you? And it was weird, because in the UK, it wasn't like that. And they appreciated me a lot more over there. And it's a nice confidence boost. I thought, this whole thing. Do you know what I mean? And it was cute.
Why do you think it is?
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because it's not like they don't have dark-skinned women in America. So I genuinely don't know. I couldn't tell you. But it's something I noticed even when I went to Jamaica. Like I said, got to Jamaica, Empress, dark-skinned Nubian queen, all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, they just kept talking about my complexion. Oh, you don't bleach. And I was like, okay.
That was a plus.
No, but they kept saying, oh, your skin's really beautiful, your skin's rich.
When I said you don't bleach.
You don't bleach. We love this natural complexion. And obviously, again, I found it weird because I'm in Jamaica. I'm in a black country. So I didn't get not like I didn't appreciate the appreciation, but again, it was just like, don't you guys see this every day kind of thing?
You don't think it had anything to do with your figure?
Yeah, obviously. But the compliments were about my complexion.
But
you can't
should I
be.
take it there? No, I'm not gonna take it there.
No, go on.
Go on, take it there.
They're complimenting you because you're attractive.
Fair
Amen.
enough.
So why did you not want to say that?
Because then it's gonna be like, oh, what are you saying? That
If you're not attractive.
if you're not attractive, then you know what they're gonna say to me, Brent. You know what they're gonna say.
I don't know. Humor me, please.
I know, it's fine.
I'm not even gonna go there.
But I get you.
Jada and Fab.
I didn't watch it, so...
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay, did you watch it? Of course not.
She,
Do you know who they are?
I was about to say, she's thinking, who?
Jada and who?
Who?
Do you know who Jadakiss is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Name one of his
yeah.
songs.
Hotel?
Who?
Oh, that's
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Wow. Yusuf, get out. Get out.
Hotel.
She said,
Hotel? No, that's Cassidy, man.
I don't know what song.
Do you know who Fabolous is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Name song.
Oh yeah. I know Fab.
Into You.
Okay.
All right, if you didn't watch it, then I guess let's move on. Because there's nothing to really say. They battled.
I heard that Fab won.
No, hell, who told you
I
that?
heard Jada one.
She's joking.
Jada, what?
Just poking.
Okay,
So did it make sense that he won?
all right, hot takes or the summary. Jada washed Fab. Fab was trying to keep up with the street bangers and could not keep up. Jada got hella drunk and was hella funny. Fab looked salty. For some reason, Fab let his DJ pick most of the songs. God knows why. He didn't prepare. Jadakiss prepared. Fab, at the end of the battle, the DJ was playing a mix of Fab songs. All the songs he played in the mix are the songs he should have played in the battle. All his big hits, big features, commercial songs, he left those out the battle because he was trying to keep up with the street, basically, innit? And that's why he lost, because he wasn't playing to his strengths. Trying to play to Jada's strengths, Jada was washing him round on round. I can't remember what I gave it. I think I gave it like 16, 4 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a wash.
So if it is that you were picking Fab songs, would he have had like these more decent competition?
Yes, because he was trying to pick, and the street songs he was picking were rubbish to me anyway. And this it started off kind of rushed as well. They weren't, normally they have the battle when they talk in between. It was like boom, 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 boom. So it was a bit too fast. But all in all, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. All right. Oh, what was I playing today? Yeah. All right. Cool. So I got an email. Yeah, and it was regarding the list. All right, and the email, I'll read it verbatim, but without reading out the name.
Trigger warning SA.
Trigger warning, yes. Trigger warning. All right, so I'll try and take out all the context. All right, the list. I'm sure you're aware of the list, and this has been something that's bothered me from before. Now seeing that Bleep name is on the list confirms to me that he is a predator. He follows my younger sister on Insta, who has only just turned 20 years old. He constantly likes her pics, now finding out that he is Bleep age. Actually, the age is relevant to be fair. 35. It's not me. Actually suggests to me that he's a predator. So I hope you have spoken to Bleep Bleep, and I hope that you do your listeners justice by actually addressing this list and your bleep being on it. So, my takeaway is, and this is why, to me, the list credibility was always under scrutiny, because you've got a girl here who is labeling somebody a predator because he is a certain age and he has been liking pictures on Instagram of a girl who has just turned 20. So she has labeled him a predator. So could this guy be on the list that was released, because this girl in particular or another girl thinks he's a predator because he has liked pictures? She has taken time out of her day to email me this, and it comes across very aggressive. If I read it out properly, you could see. So it's like, okay, cool. This to me devalues the list in terms of it being a list of rapists and da-da-da-da. You've labeled him a predator because he's liked pictures on Instagram. Like, to me, that's a big reach. Drops mic.
Well, damn.
No, isn't that?
If you can't go to Billy Oceans, no where the hell can you go?
What? Does anyone agree with me?
No, I get it. I think it's a bit unfair to maybe use that word purely because let me ask you a question, Yus. Laurie Harvey.
Yeah.
Let's just say she was 20 and you followed her on Instagram.
How old is Laurie Harvey then?
I don't know.
23.
Okay.
Not too far off.
Deck. Gee.
No,
Not
she knows that already.
How old is Future?
Not too far
How old
off.
is Future then?
I don't know.
In his 30s, no?
Let me check.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. You know when he asked more than once, he was trying to get you to yeah. Well done for engaging brain. Anyway,
Ooh,
and
damn. 36.
right. So let's just say this is perfect. Let's just say Laurie Harvey.
Why is it perfect?
because
Because
this
the
is,
example you just gave.
it's in the same
Oh,
right.
Because I'm close to Future's age. That's why.
yeah, both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, duh. Weird.
Well, damn.
Yeah. So my thing is, if I guess the difference is they're celebrities, but if you liked Laurie Harvey's pictures,
Yeah.
I wouldn't deem you as a predator.
Yeah.
Even if she wasn't a celebrity, because it's Instagram, I guess. I mean, if you was in the DMs, knowing the age and
Yeah, you're in the
maybe
DMs,
sliding in that way, then for me that's a cause for concern. But I guess because I don't know.
So you think Future's a predator?
I mean, I found it weird that he was with her. I'm not gonna lie.
You think Future's a predator?
Future's 36 and Laurie Harvey's 23. No, I don't think it's a predator.
Why do you?
It's maybe not a predator because, like I said, if it was Yusuff and a 20-year-old and I use Laurie Harvey again, I wouldn't think that he's a predator. I only use her as an example because I know she's
You
young.
said if he jumps in the DMs,
It's
would
a bit
question.
weird because I've got an issue with big age gaps. I've said this before.
But is it?
I find it
but
weird.
Is it predator?
But I didn't say that I see him as a predator. I didn't use that word.
Because I've
So what I'm saying is I've always said to you, like even
I've always known that she has a thing for
With
big
big
age
ages.
gaps,
I've said it.
I
So
get her disdain.
I'd find
to
it I'd find it weird.
But for this person
Like-
to be labelled a predator and to potentially
Like, you can't
be
get
on
girls-
that list because girls think he's a predator, and for this to be the accusation because you're liking pictures is a bit wild, no? Because one, how do you even know he knows the age of the girl?
That's the next thing.
For one.
So that's the next thing I was gonna say, yeah. Because I feel like nowadays a lot of girls look a lot older than they are. Just with makeup, hair, wigs, whatever. So on social media, there's loads of girls I've come across their pages. And even I'm liking that when I see the age in their bio, I'm like, like, how are you so grown and rotund at your young age? Do you know what I mean? Like, it blows my mind. So, and I'm a girl, so let alone guys. So the point I'm making is I wouldn't deem Future a predator. I don't deem him a predator, but I did think, bruv, can't you catch women your own age? This, to me, she's a small girl for you kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel about big age gaps. And I've said this before, because Yusuff's like, if I said to you, my girl's 25, what have I said to you? I'm like, 25, reduce it. That's 10 years. Do you know what I mean? But
I don't think 25 is bad.
But that's just me.
I know.
All right, so there is this common theme where are encouraged to get the bag wherever it is they can get it, and more fool the elderly gentleman if it is that he decides that a dinner date like warrants all that pee being splashed, right? And this culture is like lauded in certain circles, in certain echo chambers. It's like, well, get your bag, girl, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the age gap is wild.
Yeah.
It's utterly wild. It's not even a case of the guy being accused of being a predator.
Yeah.
It's encouraged for the girl to be in them situations.
And they're called sugar daddies, right?
Sugar daddies, right? So how now are we deliberating whether we should call Future a predator because he's dating a girl who's 23?
I mean, we're not, but okay.
No, I don't think we are.
We're not,
right.
but I get what you mean.
To be honest, how we were talking,
Yeah.
you said you wouldn't question Yusuff's morality if it is he likes pictures of a girl who is 21. I think that's what you
20.
said.
In this,
20.
Are we using the girl
Yeah,
from the...
this
20.
scenario.
Yeah.
But if you jump in the DMs now, that's when
hold on,
I
hold on.
might label you.
Context. So this girl said that her sister just turned 20, but he's been liking the pictures for a while. Meaning she was 19, maybe 18, whatever.
But because we don't have specifics, we can say she was 16 when he was liking pictures.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is,
I'm just taking the 20.
Okay, but she just turned 20. So for the majority of the liking, let's just say she was 19. Because she just turned 20, literally.
Again.
You're seeing it as 19, 20, same.
Okay, cool.
I just saw the numbers.
19, 20, same thing.
Yeah.
For me, with this particular dilemma, okay, cool. Let's look at it in two ways. If he did know she was 19 and he was liking the pictures, is it an issue? This is a question to the room.
Sorry, what was the
why
question?
are you liking a 90-year-old's pictures? Whether you find her cute or not.
Sorry, say it again.
Like-
I didn't hear it.
Is there an issue?
I don't
Have
have
you
it
got
on.
it?
I don't have it on, as you can see.
All right, so
I know you going
based on
Leave her alone.
She's you. She's
All right,
a mini
all right.
you.
So based-
Sharp as ever.
I'm going based off this dilemma. So she said the guy's 35. Her sister just turned 20. Is there an issue with a 35-year-old man knowingly liking the pictures of a 19-year-old girl? This is a question.
For me, yes, because like I said before, you can't catch girls your own age. What do you want with a 19-year-old?
Does liking the pictures means he wants her? Or he's
No,
after
but
her?
then that's why
Or
I'm
he just- or
saying
just
if he's just liking the picture, like you're gonna like what you like in it. I think I get it. Like you're gonna scroll on the timeline and just it is what it is. That's
Yeah.
why I'm not placing too much emphasis on
How
it,
old
which
is
is
he?
why 35.
35. Is there an issue with a 45-year-old man liking a 29-year-old girl's picture?
No.
No,
Because
she's past the threshold. I told you about the threshold, bro.
he said that. Yeah,
what's the threshold?
To me,
he says 25.
once you're over a certain age, I don't look at it as bad. Like,
What age is that?
remember the example I gave earlier about the 30-year-old woman with a 50-year-old man?
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the age?
What's the age? I don't know what the number is, but when I hear it, I know it.
I don't understand. So you said you told us before, but I've asked you now.
I told you
repeat
before
it,
was
you're like,
no.
I don't know.
The 30 is what I told you before, but I realized that you may not like that example, but that's what I gave before.
Okay.
The 30-year-old woman and 50-year-old man. That's what I gave before.
Mm.
Fuck off, man. No, okay, cool. Personally, for me, this is for me. I wouldn't, if I saw a girl who was on the gram, she was 19, I wouldn't be liking the pictures because she's 19, innit? I don't need to, why do I have to like the pictures? I could look at it if I want to, but I don't engage with teenagers. That's just me. But if I did like her pictures, does it mean I'm a predator? No. Does it mean I'm liking because I think the girl's pretty? I can think a 9-year-old girl's pretty. What's that girl's name?
Eva.
Eva. She's very pretty.
Who's
Oh, Eva P.O.
I found out she was young afterwards. I was like, rah, just
How old is Eva? Who's Eva?
The model.
She's 20.
So wait,
So,
so
yeah.
what? We can think that the girl is pretty, but we can't visibly be seen to think that she's pretty by liking a picture.
only because. of
Are
what-
you thinking about what people think of you now? So you ain't. You
No,
said
no,
you don't want
no.
to be found out.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say.
George, have you
Are
not
we-
noticed
are
what
we-
Brent
wait,
is
wait,
like?
are we connecting the dots?
No.
Eh?
I said I don't deal with teenagers. So
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't.
just said she's pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty, but I don't know her age. When
Yeah,
I,
but you still said it. You know her age,
No,
and you said she's pretty.
I can say 9-year-old girl's pretty.
Wait.
She's pretty.
Wait, you're saying cool. So you think she's pretty,
Yeah.
but you would never like a picture. That's why I asked the question, and you were like, "Ooh, you know what, Brent?" No, he said it.
You know what it is with her? Because she's a model, she's famous. I probably will like it because she's out there, innit?
All right, so you would like a 19-year-old girl's picture.
If I was on my explore page and I saw a girl that's pretty, I went to the bio and said 19, I'm just gonna go off her page. That's
But not
me.
Eva. Eva's different.
Because she's famous, isn't it?
All right, okay.
She's famous. So it's different. You know, different rules for famous people, innit?
I don't know what that means.
As in,
No, I hear
You know what I mean,
you're saying,
innit?
I just
Yeah.
don't agree. That's why I said
I know. I'm trying a bit of shit, but you know what I mean. My ultimate point is, I don't believe that this person on this dilemma should be labeled a predator just because he's liking pictures on Instagram. That's basically the
It's
whole
because it's close to home. I mean, I've got a 19-year-old sister. So,
Who's 19?
Georgia.
Oh, perfect example. So if it is
So-
The whole time, I didn't know you were 19, you know?
Yeah.
How old do you guys think I am?
15.
So
Early
then-
20s or
So
something.
this is it. So I was going to say,
I was
As a sister-
baffled when it's so you pull up. It's like, are you allowed to drive?
Oh no, that's a good example. So if
No,
I
that's
was
what I'm
constantly
saying.
liking George's pictures, then
But-
why are you constantly
but
liking my 9-year-old
Only
sister?
because it's close
because
to
it's close, but it's different.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why
why you said celebrities,
but you
they're
know,
different.
but you know Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing it as it's coming from a predatorial
Yeah.
kind of vibe. Like I'm seeing it as, he just sees it as fam. Like
And
that's
if I
Yeah.
liked the picture, or do you have words?
it's the same though
I
because
don't
of,
like pictures.
Hold
No.
on. But
But I'm saying this. Okay, let me give an
You have an
example.
Instagram?
If the person in question,
Prove a point.
no, because I know him as well. No, but
No.
even still, if the person in question in the dilemma
yeah,
was liking like her pictures, or forget even her
Yeah.
friends,
yeah.
I'd be like, big man, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, if you know
and
their
that's,
age.
and that's what and that's what the point I'm making.
We're assuming that he knows her age. Great 3 hours. Live show, Friday the 29th of July. Tickets out right now. The live show will be via Zoom. So don't show up to any venue, yeah? Zoom. The workout we're doing together is called Train With Us. Yeah, Train With Us. The first one is going to be Wednesday the 8th at 7... I keep saying, what is it, 7 or 30?
7 p.m.
7 p.m, yeah? Via the Meet Us After 7 Instagram page, yeah? That's what's going to be happening. We'll be together in Gina's garden. And then I May Destroy You Zoom, Friday the 17th of July, 6 p.m, yeah? And lastly, don't forget to follow all our pages, Insta, Twitter, and YouTube. Get the Insta to 10... Insta to 1K, Twitter to 1K, YouTube to 2K, and we'll be doing giveaways to random listeners, random followers once we reach those numbers, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've been the mischievous, the troublemaking, the controversial, I've got a lot of editing to do to fine-tune this here podcast. Brent Fires.
I've been the luckiest woman in the world. because I'm going to get married to the best nigger in the world. Can I get it, amen?
Amen.
All right. Being the beautiful Just Jean.
I have been Mrs. I'm a shit youth correspondent because I don't know how to find information on time or engage my brain. But we love you anyway.
No, she done a good job.
Mrs.
Done a good job.
It's true, that was harsh. I'm sorry.
I was thinking, right, that was a bit.
Positive reinforcement, you know?
Jojo, we get this punch in the face. When you get
Mrs. Georgina, but that's not my name. Mrs. Oh damn, if you can't go to Billinois, then where the heck can you go?
Where's that from?
Georgia. She knows.
I have been.
Go on, girl.
Is
Tell
she
me.
speaking into the mic? I'm not sure.
She ain't been talking to Mike all episode.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I've
my bad.
been prompting you a little bit.
I have been.
Better do a good job over there.
You ain't done nothing all day. Come on.
Come on, girl. Sell me.
I don't know what to say.
Sell it. It's not hard, baby. Look at me. I'm playing.
Start with his love for Eva.
I was gonna say that.
I don't have a love for Eva.
Love Eva officially,
No, I don't have a love
but I
for
can't follow her or like her pics.
But then people would do.
Eva. No, I've said it on the podcast. She's pretty. That's it. End of story. I don't follow her. I don't like her pics.
But you want to.
You know what? Well done. Touche, Georgia.
And we have been Meet Us After
Are we out?
7 and we out. Peace.